Hello students, welcome back to part 2 of chapter 3, traditional symmetric cipher. So this is where we at. We have so under cryptography, yeah, we provide services for confidentiality and integrity. So this is under confidentiality. There are two encryption techniques, symmetric and asymmetric. So we are focusing first on symmetric. Under symmetric, there are traditional and modern. We are focusing on traditional cipher. Under traditional cipher, there are two categories, substitution and transposition. We look at substitution first. Under substitution, just before the end of the first part of chapter 3, we look at monoalphabetic substitution, traditional symmetric cipher, which is we look at additive or shift cipher or scissor cipher. The others, multiplicative and affine, it will be covered in computer security. Okay, now let's move on to the second technique in substitution cipher. Instead of doing it one alphabet at a time, you exchange it one to one. In polyalphabetic, you can use, not to say two by two like that. I'll show you. So there are three different techniques for under polyalphabetic: Playfair, Vigenère, Hill. We are going to focus on Vigenère cipher. Okay, so let's look. How do we do Vigenère cipher under polyalphabetic substitution, traditional symmetric cipher? Here. So in polyalphabetic substitution, each occurrence of a character may have a different substitute. Okay, maksudnya, what it means is that previously A is always Z, example. P is always Y. You can do that, or depending on your shift, kan? If you do scissor cipher, there's a shift. But it's always that. If your key is 15, L will always become A. Remember, hello becomes WT, AAD tadi? So it's always the same. But in polyalphabetic, A in the same technique, in the same we're doing Vigenère, kan? The first A will become B. The second A will become Y. The third A will become C. That's why we call it polyalphabetic. Many alphabet. Okay? So the relationship between a character in the plain text to a character in the cipher text is not one-to-one like scissor cipher. It is one-to-many. Okay. All right. Let me show you the example. So how it's done in Vigenère cipher? The example here, Vigenère. Okay. We have our plain text. She is listening. Who is listening? She is listening. Okay. However, the key is not the shift. In polyalphabetic in cipher, okay, the key is 15. So you shift 15 points. You shift 15 alphabet. But in polyalphabetic, you have a key stream. So you have to have, the shift is not how many spot you shift. Yeah, but okay, the key is here. Pascal. Pascal, the early programming language. Pascal. Okay, what you do is, first, you write, she is listening. You write, she is listening. And then you find the value for each alphabet. So S is 18, H is 7, E is 4. Okay, you do that first. And then your key is Pascal. So what you do is, you put down Pascal, you match it with the plain text. So P, Pascal, okay, P is 15, A is 0, S is 18, C is 2, A is 0, L is 11. Nampak tak? 15, 0, 18, 2, 0, 11. So this is Pascal. Pascal. Okay, but you have she is listening, long plain text. But your key is only Pascal, 5 alphabet. So what you do is, you repeat the key until it match the last alphabet in your plain text. So Pascal, Pascal, Pa. you cannot have 3 Pascal. You have 2 full Pascal, only PA, because your word is only she is listening, right? Okay. So from there, what do? From there, you do additive. So 18 plus 15, 33. 33 mod 26. What did I teach you? Just minus 26. You will get 7. So 7 plus 0 is 7. No need to minus, because to subtract, because 7 is already less than 26, right? So you get 7. Then you find the value from the table just now. Sorry, not just now. Table from first part. Here, this is table. You find from the value to the ciphertext. Okay? So you will get, it doesn't make sense. So that's why the ciphertext can be sent in plain sight, yeah? Unsecure channel, because what is this? How do we even pronounce this? Kan? We cannot pronounce it. Nobody understands it unless they have the key. Unless they know it is Pascal, then they can do decryption. They can do subtraction to get back she is listening. Yeah. So in the old days, we already have cryptography, but it's basic cryptography. But I think even though it's basic, it still needs a time, because they don't have calculator in the old days, or they don't, obviously, even if they do have calculator, they don't have the supercomputer, they don't have iPhone 25, kan? So it will take some time lah to decrypt this. Okay? So that is polyalphabetic substitution, called Virginia cipher. Okay. Done. Substitution. Done substitution. Sudah So monoalphabetic sudah, polyalphabetic sudah. International student, do you understand sudah? Finish. What is, we have Japanese student, right? Sudah, the end. Alamak, tak ingat. Okay. So now let's go to transposition. Okay. In substitution, you substitute either 1 to 1 or 1 to many. Correct? 1 to 1 or 1 to many. But in transposition, we don't substitute. Of course lah, the name is another name, transposition. In transposition, what we do actually is we rearrange the position. Nampak ada nama dia pun, dalam ni ada position. So we rearrange the position. We don't substitute. Okay, how is it done? Okay, first, category under transposition cipher, keyless or keyed. Keyed, or we can also do a combination. Okay, let's look at the first one, keyless transposition. Mana dia? So far so good. Are you guys still there? Okay, you can always take a break, right? Okay, so in transposition cipher, just like I said just now, we do not substitute one symbol for another. Instead, it changes the location. So we change the position of the symbol. So a transposition cipher reorders symbols. So let's look at the first type, keyless transposition cipher. So it is the simple transposition which are used in the past. They are keyless. A good example, okay, one other example of the keyless cipher is, we call it rail fence. They do not, can I say they do not need a key? Actually, okay, in a sense, they don't actually have like a specific key, but the key is here. They say, okay, the ciphertext, we create it by reading or writing the pattern row by row. So instead of meet me, mana? Mana meet me at the park on one line. What you do is you write it on two lines. So M, E, the second line. The second E, first line back. T, the second line. So first line, second line, first line, second line, first line. Okay. But you don't read it using the arrow. What you read the first line first. And then you read the second line first. So when you read it, it becomes, the ciphertext become me, ma, te, ak, e, tet. So when you, and apa tu? Try to, what's the word? Intercept the text. What you get is only the ciphertext, isn't it? What is this? You will never know that it actually means meet me at the park, because you don't know that this is actually written row by row. Yeah. So in railfan cipher, you use two rows. Yeah. Meet me at the park. So that's one example where you don't have a key. Actually, it's keyless, but you rearrange. Doesn't mean M becomes M. Okay. Look. Okay. Like I said, it in transposition, yeah, you don't even need, yeah. So this M, it's not substitution. MEETM. Satu, dua, tiga, empat, lima. Satu, dua, tiga, empat, lima. Here the second M becomes T. You just, another thing, the difference between substitution and transposition. Okay, look. In substitution, she is listening. You have totally different alphabet in your ciphertext. Yeah? You don't even have, you do have G. What you don't have? You do have N. Do you have E? Okay. You have E in the plain text. You don't have E in the ciphertext. So you actually use a different set of ciphertext because you introduce a key. But in transposition, okay, what is the difference? In transposition, you have the same alphabet. Meet me at the park. Here, actually, you have 1, 2 M. You have 2 M's. Here also you have 2 M's. You have 1 K. Here also, you must have a K. Doesn't mean you don't have a K. But all you do is you rearrange their position. So that is transposition cipher. In this case, railfan cipher is a keyless transposition cipher. So the keyless cipher, another name for position, repositioning, rearrange, we call it permutation. Pernah dengar? Yeah, I think you've heard. You rearrange another. So in the keyless, yeah, there's another way. Dia kata Alice needs to send the message, enemy attacks tonight to Bob. Yeah, to Bob. So we have Alice sender, Bob receiver. So the key dalam transposition cipher is this key. Okay, now right. Keyless, there's no key. Try two rows. Meet me one up and down, up and down. No key. But in key transposition, there's a key. So the key is the number. You tell Alice, or Alice and Bob agrees that this is how you kalau dalam railfan cipher, you don't rearrange it up, down, up, down, up, down. One example lah, railfan cipher. But here you specifically tells the third position plain text will become the first position in the ciphertext. So plain text up here, encryption, it becomes to cipher. Kalau decryption, cipher times, plain text. Okay, look. The third position in plain text. What is the third position in the plain E? It becomes the first position in the ciphertext. Look, it becomes the first position. Okay, try the second one. I use a pen color. Mana color? Pen color. Okay. So second one, the function here becomes the second position. So this is this E. Okay, one more. one more. Pen color. Okay. The fourth position becomes the third position. Mana fourth? Fourth is here. It becomes third position. That's how you write it down. The first position, the fifth position is the fourth position. So this is the key. You need to use this. So at Bob's, yeah, Bob's, what does Bob do? Bob will decrypt. So when Bob decrypts, the fifth position in the cipher text, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth position in text becomes the second. Nampak? It becomes second the plain text. So that is key transposition, traditional symmetric cipher. You go up, yeah? Okay. You can also, I think this is one of the last part. You can also combine the two approaches. You combine key and key. Contohnya, enemy attacks tonight, you use rail fence. Yeah, ataupun you write row by row. So in this case, there are 5 rows. Instead of rail fence tadi, you do 2 rows je kan? So enemy attack tonight, so you write 5 row. Enemy tadi tu up down. This one row by row. Yeah, different. It's not rail fence. Sorry, this is not rail fence. It's another key list. You just write row by row. So, enemy attack tonight. Yeah, but then you will do your key transposition. You do column by column. So EAKI, the third column becomes first column in cipher. Okay, so the third column, ETTH, becomes the first column. Nampak? The first column becomes the first column in the plain text becomes the second column in the cipher text. Okay, and then when you read it this way. Wait, you read it column by column, yeah? You read it column by column. All this, write row by row, the key, read column by column, is your negotiation between Alice and Bob. Make sure Bob understands that. If not, Bob cannot decrypt. Yeah. So look, in cryptography, do you see how easy it is? It just substitute. It just transpose, play around. Do you see? They are only playing around. Okay, A becomes Z, B becomes Y, or interest. Interesting is that hi, you can see me again. The mathematics is easy, but it's still difficult for people to decrypt it. You will see why, because the key, yeah. So this is all just an introduction for you to see how cryptography works. This is simple in the old era, in the old days of traditional cipher. Nowadays, we still use substitution, we still use transposition, but we can add more. After transposition, substitution, after this, we add more layers. We add more layers. We have bigger keys, complicated keys. Yeah. Two. All right. Question? No. This in discussion. Okay. All right. Okay. Just like in chapter 1, when I introduced the attacks on our goals, security goals, kan? I said we can actually have different ways of categorizing them, right? Either passive or attack, passive or active or under the goals. Okay, the same thing with our traditional cipher types. So this is one way of, okay, this is one way of categorizing it. Under traditional cipher, you can categorize it either substitution or transposition, the two main categories, right? Another way to categorize these types of cipher is either categorizing them, what am I doing? Categorizing them under not transposition or substitution, but are they stream cipher or are they block cipher? So what is stream cipher? What is block cipher? Ada cerita tak? Ada. Okay. First, stream. Stream ni macam mana? What is stream? Water stream. Continuous, isn't it? Continuous. But block, what is block? First block, second block. Yeah? Block is block by block. One block, two block. Or we can do it combination. So, remember additive is under substitution monoalphabetic. Betul? Virginia is under substitution polyalphabetic. But they are both in a different category. They are both stream cipher, meaning you're doing it streaming all letters all the time. You don't break it down into different chunks. Okay? But I think Playfair is also, Playfair, Hill, and Virginia, these three are actually under the same category in the previous one, which are, they are polyalphabetic. Yeah? However, when you are categorizing them into stream or block, Virginia is stream, but Playfair and Hill is block. What is block? You take one chunk, okay, you have a long letter, 2000 word. You don't do all in 2000 word, one until the 2000s word or 2000s, sorry, alphabet. What you do is break it into 100 words. 100 alphabet. Yeah, we call it block cipher. Or you can combine them. Okay. In detail, this detail about the stream and block cipher, especially block cipher, we focus most in our class will be block cipher because this is the majority of what today's world use. Block cipher, not stream. Yeah. So, but here is just an introduction. So, two broad categories: stream cipher and block cipher. Yeah. So they say here, although the definitions are normally applied to modern, after this, chapter 5, I'm going to teach you modern cipher. Yeah. We can also categorize those Playfair, Hills, Caesar cipher, they are traditional cipher, into these categories. So in stream cipher, instead of doing it block by block, you just do it in stream, kan? Stream cipher. Kalau block cipher, different. If you have the word plain text, you do it, one block is three letters, so pla. And then you do int, and then you do ext. You do block by block. That is block cipher. So in practice, block of plain text are encrypted individually. You do it individually, one block, one block, one block. Yeah. So first block using the same key, second block using the same key, third block using the same key. But they use a stream of keys to encrypt the whole message block by block. They use the stream of keys, the same key. But in other words, the cipher is a block cipher when looking at it at the individual blocks. But it is a stream cipher when looking it at as a whole message. Alamak, what does it say? Okay, what it says is that we are actually doing it block by block. Yeah, but because we are using stream of keys, so it looks like we are actually doing it as a whole message as a stream cipher. Don't worry if you're confused now. When we delve into a block cipher in detail, AES, yeah, you will see, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so what is the, apa nama ni? What is the point of traditional symmetric cipher? What is it? Okay, so traditional symmetric cipher is a different category, an earlier category. Yeah, so Goals of computer security, we have confidentiality, integrity, availability. So we focus on confidentiality. So in confidentiality, we can use symmetric cipher or asymmetric cipher. We focus on symmetric cipher. You do this together with me and see whether you remember, or you understand. So under symmetric, we have, what do we have? We have traditional, we also have modern. So we are focusing on traditional cipher, these two parts, yeah? So under traditional cipher, we have substitution or transposition. Under substitution, we have monoalphabetic or polyalphabetic. You can see that I've done this so many times, right? Under monoalphabetic, what do you have? You have examples lah. Caesar cipher, I teach you Caesar cipher. Polyalphabetic, I teach you Virginia example. Polyalphabetic can be key or non-key. Or the other way of categorizing it is either stream or block. So I hope you get the picture. Most of it is substitution or transposition. So cryptography actually is not a difficult subject. But make sure you tell yourself, I love mathematics. I love puzzle. You need to love puzzle. If you love puzzle, no problem. Cryptography is just puzzle. It's just a puzzle of changing from plain text to ciphertext. So don't worry. When people say cryptography is hard, no, it's not. If you love math, you love puzzle, cryptography is the perfect course for you. Okay, so these 3 videos, chapter 1, chapter 3, part 1, chapter 3, part 2, we will discuss it in our first discussion. Okay, so happy reading. Happy doing the tutorial. We'll discuss it in the 2 hours at night next week. Assalamualaikum. Bye.